Your Steam accounts are now family heirlooms. Welcome, intellectuals, back at it again. So we've got a bit of ammo here for the shoddy, because we wouldn't want to go without the symbol of our masculinity not fueled with the power of killing. And we immediately gonna hit the bubble.
You fight alongside Alex for much of episode 1, so her combat really needed to look varied and exciting. We especially wanted to get her into some kind of convincing physical contact with her enemies. We'd always wanted to do this kind of dynamic character interactions, but getting the NPCs into position for their interactions has a pretty wide-ranging set of problems. So we ended up taking an opportunistic approach for episode 1, where instead of figuring out how to maneuver characters into proximity, the system monitors their positions and fires the appropriate animations whenever it notices that they're correctly aligned. Given how well these interactions worked out between Alex and zombies, headcrabs and antlions, we're really looking forward to extending this kind of behavior to all of our NPCs.
Yes, it will only take all the other games to be released to have that going. Also, you could have noticed that Alex, animated here for our pleasure, looks specifically at the camera. Very bad thing when it comes to acting, and also not that interacting with a floating cartoon or like a comic book speech bubble isn't taking you out of the experience of realism and immersion. Yeah, but she's looking at it and she's showing off to you specifically because yeah, you're the main character here. You've got a shotgun after all. Take the medkit. I don't really need that medkit. Oh, that's a bottle. I thought that would be revolver ammo, but we don't get a candy like that this early in the game. Right. Recently, I've been gaming. Like I said, I was thinking about playing Neverwinter Nights 2 again, properly this time, which by that I meant playing a wizard again, but this time as a control wizard. Like, instead of just having fireballs and spells that deal damage, I'm gonna focus on control, and I'm gonna enable the rest of my party to deal a lot of damage and win encounters. It's terrible. It's shit. I hate it. I'm gonna tell you all about it as soon as events here are gonna transpire. So let's go. Oh, hey. Uh-huh. So he got himself. Did he destroy the canister? Yes, he did. So we're not using that canister, unfortunately, to light our way. Oh, right. Shotguns here. We're full on that, actually. So we're gonna need to find more cars to plug the shit. Get that going. Flip that over. Yeah, you cannot get a shot when they're not knocked over either. It's not that difficult to shoot them. It's not like they're armored on top. I would know. I've been fighting them in the previous game. Unfortunately, she's immortal as well. Oh wait, how since we're already here? Ah, yeah. I kind of wanted to see her animation, but I was paying attention to something else. And we need more cars, and we need to move for those cars. Ah shit. Why am I? Is it? Oh no, it wasn't. I thought it was bugged from the... Ah shit, I wasted the fucking medkit. I thought it's bugged from the display. Obviously, I can't hit for shit. But it's not. It wasn't. So, let's plug all the holes and then we're gonna go over the bubbles, I think. Well, that was a waste as well. That's not helping. I really don't want all these things. Not now, at least. But what will happen if I won't open the box? What will be spawned then? Maybe medkits that I could use. Don't unplug it. Yeah, good. Now I put 2 in 1. What if I... Did it work? No? Yes? Alex is fine though, remember. I could help her, slightly. Well. Nice one, Gordon. Keep them busy, Alex. I'll deal with the actual holes. Right, so that's dealt with. So what's up with Control Mage in Neverwinter Nights 2? Well, first off, I was thinking about utilizing a very powerful spell, Web. Why is Web very powerful? Because it lasts for tens of minutes per level. Unfortunately, in the game it doesn't last that long at fucking all. Just terrible. Normally at the table, when you open the books for the game, and the actual RPG, the game tells you, well, the books tell you that the web spell lasts for 10 minutes per level. That's a lot. That's a lot. I'm not gonna try to pick that up yet. That's a lot. It will last you an encounter. It will last you fucking for an hour at 6th level, just in case you're in a situation where you need to cover for things or something like that. I don't know, you have to block out an exit and find yourself a way out. Pretty cool, actually. But in Neverwinter Nights 2, it doesn't last anywhere near. It lasts 6 seconds per level, essentially, I think, or maybe less. And also, it's not that the time is realistic. In-game time is not tracked as actual time, I think. Like, oh right, I need to open the thing, and there's gonna be a dude. This dude. Okay, he was just armored, I guess, or invincible. Yeah, it should be lasting for 10 minutes at a level. It lasts 4 rounds per level. So it's terrible. It loses the whole utility. You can block off an entire fucking area from enemies coming at you. It's not that the game is difficult anyway. An entire area from enemies coming at you. And they'll deal with them, because they'll be... Shit, I got slightly hit. My impeccable record. Block of entire encounters, pick people off one by one with ranged weapons, completely disable them, really. And that's the whole idea behind Wizard. He's capable of completely disabling enemies, completely disabling, even though he's not killing them, even though he's not dealing enough damage to kill them, and wasting precious resources per day to swing at them. Yeah, so that's shit. I'm picking all the control spells, and I'm not... with the web... for instance, there is also Grease, which is pretty cool because it never requires concentration, but not even in D&D 5. But in Neverwinter Nights 2, it's larger area, which is cool because you can flip more people. But it's so hard to get people in the area anyway, and I'm gonna talk about it soon enough.
This 3-level parking garage is where the antlion burrow training pays off. Because we've taught the player the burrow blocking mechanic earlier in a less hectic environment, the problem here becomes not what to do with the burrows, but where to find the cars to block them while fighting off a horde of antlions. The burrows themselves went through several iterations. At first, playtesters had a hard time seeing them, and once they'd push the car onto one, they often weren't sure if the hole was actually sealed. We eventually solved both of these problems by adding a particle effect to the burrows. This effect makes them recognizable even at a distance, and its absence is a clear indication that the burrow is blocked.
Yeah, I talked about that recently, that they did add that, and they will talk about it, so here it is. This might talk about the map being just a regular car park, and then they added battle damage to it to make it realistic, to make it look plausible, look convincing, that it is, in fact, not only a car park, but also a broken one. Oh, we also get a whole shotgun that doesn't disappear if you don't pick up all the ammo off of it. Right, and what's a big deal with the Neverwinter Nights 2 is that it's so hard to get people in the actual area of effect. Why? Because it's not turn-based. It's sort of well, it is real-time. There is an active pause, you could say, like in KOTOR. It's like in KOTOR, only KOTOR had this idea of things being focused on enemies or ranging out from you. Meanwhile, here you actually have to predict their movement and put the thing on the ground. And the problem is, it still tracks initiative, for instance. It still has you roll for initiative, so you might be going last, and the enemies are already running towards you. Meanwhile, your teammates are already running at the enemies, so you want to catch only the enemies in range in the area of effect, for instance, of web or grease. But you can't, because your guy is gonna run in. Oh, hey, can I? Hold on. Now I'm curious. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. That would have been better to use than an entire medkit, but that's fine. It's not like we need it anyway. We're also full-on shotgun. So they're running at them. When are they gonna meet? Well, probably where you already are casting spells, or you're wasting your turn spending that turn on movement instead of casting the spell. So you're either gonna catch your guy in and limit his abilities, or all the enemies are gonna run out of the area already and start attacking you because you are up front.
We generally design and prototype the basic gameplay in a level before we apply much art to it. Throughout the first several months of playtesting this garage map, the geometry was nothing more than basic shapes and textures. After we finalized most of the gameplay elements, we began to flesh out the visuals for the area. For this level, we left the office and took reference pictures of various garages. From these shots, we pulled out everything we liked and that we thought we could pull off well. We combined these visual highlights into what we call a style guide map, which is a standalone map with no gameplay that we use strictly as visual reference. For this level, we actually made 2 style guides, one a destroyed garage, the other intact. After the look was established, we brought the playable map's visual quality up to the level of the style guides. Often a map's geometry needs to be changed as the art goes in because areas that worked in the abstract version no longer make sense in a map that now looks like a real place. For instance, the side rooms where 2 of the cars are hidden were moved several times in order to make them feel more naturally part of the parking garage.
That's weird. I can hear myself think.
Yeah. I guess them talking was interrupting you. Also, I was looking for where actually do we need to go. And if we can just open the door and run through, we really didn't need to deal with all the antlions. We can just wait them out, essentially. Right, so have I not complained about Neverwinter Nights before? Somewhere on video? It's not that good of a game. It seems like everything Obsidian touches sounds great in concept, but they never get the chance to actually realize it. The camera in Neverwinter Nights 2 is trash. There are 3 modes, like third person position for like sort of a character focus. Okay, that opens completely. Yeah, you would have been able to hold them all off when I crank the crank. Or I could have been maybe holding them off and you would be cranking the crank. You're specifically designed to do the thing quickly and when you're committing and then be off. So maybe you would have been beneficial here. Yeah, camera is off. Camera is shit, actually. So you can have a character focused camera, which is worse because you're fighting entire groups of people and you're governing what are you governing? Area of effects. Area of effects that you have to cast in world. So a camera being close to you and far away from the enemies is hard to navigate. You would see that in MMOs. You want the thing being far away. There's a guy probably. We got him. Well, I was hoping he's gonna drown, or maybe even Alex will finish him off. Neither, thanks. Love that. Yeah, so sort of a third-person position when it's focused on you, and then you have to switch over to other characters to control them. And there is a search mode where it's focused still on your character, but it's further away more. What is it? It's not anisotropic. Isometric. It's more isometric, but only slightly. You can still control your character directly, and it'll somewhat follow the camera, but it's still not far enough. But that makes it harder to control the rest of your party, because in that mode you can't drag and select everyone. The camera follows you. That's what's important in that mode. The camera follows you still. Meanwhile, there is this strategic mode where
You're lucky you've got that hazard suit.
Yeah.
This water's nasty. You got
And I've been-
2 in there?
Yes. Oh, Zombine. Where is he? I want to blow him up. Is this one alive? No, it's not. And there's the third mode where the camera doesn't follow you. You can drag and select multiple units at once and control them as a group, but the camera doesn't follow you, and that's a problem. Oh, where the fuck did you come from? Alex. They're resilient, even though I am blasting them headshots. These ones aren't resilient though. Well, they shouldn't be resilient anyway, because we're aiming for the head, and this is what controls the thing. That's the parasite. Everything else is fucking dead. Look, it's bare bone, eating up fucking skull. So it's there's another one still, and I ran out of thing too. Alex, fix it. I could pick up an item and throw it at them. Or Alex can pick up ammo and throw that at them, using her launcher, being the gun, of course. Yeah, and so the camera doesn't follow. And you can select your group, you can even move your character with like WASD keys. And he will go, but the camera won't follow him, so you have to either move them with the WASD keys and keep chasing after them with the mouse to get the cursor at the edge of the screen to push the camera over to where they are. The range to which the camera can move away from the character currently selected is very low. It's not too far away from the characters. It bugs out sometimes when being too close, when I was climbing a certain area. It's like a hill, there's a fort on it. I'm climbing the hill, and the further they get up, you know, in elevation, the camera stays at the same level, so that's weird. Yeah, and if
Be a way to the surface.
and you're juggling your hand really over. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to. That's it. That's gonna be it. I think we're gonna do that later. Well, we'll see. We still have items to collect and get our bearings, so there's that. We're fine with that. We need gas, so let's save here. And I'm gonna try to finish what I'm saying. Or you're gonna move them by cursor clicking and instead move one of your hands, well, the one that operates keyboards usually, over to the cursor keys. So either you're moving them with W, S, A, and D, or moving the camera with the cursor, so it's juggling all over the place. That's mine. None of those modes are good enough. None of those modes is good enough. I don't remember. I think it will start when we approach this. I don't know. So maybe let's not approach that. None of those camera modes is good enough. And that's not good at all. It should be one camera and being good enough anyway, or you know, have one that's at least good for something. The camera is shit. The camera is shit. Also, the game is completely fucking bugged. I picked a bat familiar, and it was supposed to have like fear effects where you can stun and control more enemies with your bat. I don't know where are they? I can't reach them. I can't get them out to have them working. During the game I picked up a magic hammer that deals electric damage, then I lost it somehow. Then I got back to the area and enemies respawned, relooted the area, and I found a new one. So there's that too. Amazing. And sort of one of the points is that, of course, well, I don't have the expansions, but the expansions would expand your, obviously, options. But I do know D&D, right? I know D&D, so I've got an idea what do I want to play. And then you go into the game thinking about that being possible. Then you look at the options that they actually give you, and half of it is missing. So now you have to readjust all your quote build unquote, your spec, to do something else competently. Otherwise, it will be just fucking stupid. Of course, there's still the problem where, for instance, well, where they decide to give the characters stupid things to do, like you could do craft, or you could not do craft, but characters already have points pumped into that. Like, that's an option that's maybe understandable, but also, for instance, you have a tiefling in the team. It's got an effective, it's got a level adjustment, meaning the race is powerful enough to count for essentially a class in a level. Is that your breathing? Anyway. Oh, why is that locked? Class in a level in a class. So she's behind, meaning she's got less points in her skills, so it's harder actually for her to open locks and pick traps up. And also, I'm standing there for 20 minutes reloading saves because I can't roll high enough to pick a trap up. Although picking a trap up is more difficult than just disabling it. So that's sort of understandable, but it's not like it's beyond her ability. You just need to roll like 12 or 15, and she keeps rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 3, 2, 1 for 20 minutes. There is no quick save. There is no quick load. I don't know how they made that game.
Episode 1 is our first project to use HDR lighting heavily in dark indoor environments. The interaction between the flashlight and the auto exposure calculations done for HDR presented a real technical challenge. In dark areas where the flashlight was the only source of illumination, we found that we'd often end up with grossly overexposed views. We ended up compensating for this by using a different set of exposure parameters when the flashlight was turned on. In particular, we drastically shrunk the region of the screen examined for exposure calculations, which permitted us to concentrate only on the much smaller area lit by the flashlight.
Oh, and that's clever. Well, see, with what is it? Ray tracing. With ray tracing, they will have to trace your flashlight all over the place, calculating all the light bouncing off, and in essence making these things brighter. Also, think about that, because that's a pro life hack. If you have a flashlight and point it in front of you, it will illuminate what's in front of you, and the rest will seem very dark. But if you point the flashlight at the ceiling, the light will bounce off of the white, usually white ceilings, and it will be diffused over greater area, illuminating the area where you are, instead of just pointing the light in one direction, making you blind to everywhere else. So there's an option for you. Also, what's wrong with Neverwinter Nights 2 is the fact that it's not really that challenging. You might have healing items, you might have alchemical items, you might have consumables that help you survive and go through a fight. However, you defeat a group of enemies, hang back a little bit, and rest. And for instance, compared to Icewind Dale 2, in Icewind Dale 2, the game time was actually calculated. Not that there was a running timer where you could have been late and the game is over, but there was they counted the days. They counted the days that have gone by. There was a somewhat dynamic day and night cycle where when it was late in the day, it was night. When it was in the middle of the day, it was bright and daylight. That doesn't happen in Neverwinter Nights 2, when the area is decided to be gloomy and dark, and at night it's gloomy and dark and at night all the time. In Icewind Dale 2, the rest actually lasted for 8 hours and could have been interrupted too. The enemies could have spawned and interrupted your rest, and you had to survive that and then try to rest again. In Neverwinter Nights 2, however, you have your limited spells, right, obviously, like you do in D&D. However, when you decide to rest, there is a timer specifically popping up telling you it will be 5 seconds. The bar fills up in 5 seconds, and that's your rest. You can pile up all your fucking attack options, blast them in first encounter for maximum effect, and then rest for a 5, take a knee for a 5, and you're back again, ready to go. Like, why would you need healing ever? You can just rest and heal up all your health and all your spells. It's better to prepare cure disease and cure poison and lesser restoration than cure wounds, because you can cure those wounds in 5 seconds. It will be faster than it takes for a turn to happen, which is 6 seconds when a caster casts a healing spell. So let's try to push this a little bit more.
This area is the
Actual
dramatic
elevator. I would have settled for stairs.
But it's not powered down. Yeah, like that.
You've got to be kidding. I've worked with electricity a time or two, and I'm pretty sure the sparking wire must be connected to a power supply.
This area is the dramatic culmination of all the lightless combat that comes before it. We wanted to create a dynamic fight that lasted several minutes while we waited for the elevator to arrive. The first iteration of this battle was very different from what we eventually shipped. The space was larger, had water in it, and wasn't completely dark. Water is relatively expensive performance-wise, so we cut that in favor of more zombies. We made the level smaller to ensure that the player would see the elevator and recognize the problem that needed to be solved before the fight started.
Shine your light on that thing.
We killed the lights both to enhance tension and to make this scene a final test of the dark fighting skills that the player develops over the course of the episode. Finally, we added a wire running along the ceiling from the elevator to the power box to give players a guide as they familiarize themselves with the area.
Are you still there?
No, not really. I was debating leaving you. Only the elevator is off. Alright, so we've got some supplies just in case we need them. Some more. And we still have nodes to go over, but action will focus us. So maybe you'll be able to hear them say anything about any of this, or maybe not. Hard to say. Now we've got explosive barrels, we've got the gas canisters. And we have the objective of hearing more of them, so we can focus on beating them the fuck up. Also, one of the things that we have to contend with... Oh, that's a zombie. I don't know where it is.
Keep your light on it.
Gladly. Alex. Kick him in the balls. There we go. Now, I'm out of armor. Fantastic. But we're not out of
In
listening.
early versions of the episode, Alex was much more vocal about giving the player hints. However, playtest showed it was much more satisfying for the players when Alex stated a goal and then stepped aside until that goal was accomplished. Because of that feedback, almost all of Alex's hint lines were cut. Eventually, though, we discovered through more playtesting that although players didn't like having Alex hand them unsolicited hints, they did want to be able to explicitly request help from her. So we added some of the hint dialogue back in, but it's only accessible at the player's request by Plus using Alex. Unfortunately, we learned these hint lessons late in the development cycle and didn't have time to properly train players for this feature. We plan to integrate the hint-on-demand dialogue more thoroughly in future episodes.
Our art and gameplay standards encourage players to build a visual dictionary that defines how they expect things to work in the Half-Life world. For instance, even though the door to the power box room is metal, and would probably have a metal crossbar holding it shut, we barred it with a wooden plank. Because we've been consistent throughout the game, the player should recognize that a wooden plank can be both broken and manipulated with a gravity gun, properties that wouldn't be immediately apparent about a metal bar.
Keep your light on.
Easy for you to say. Alright, we still have a gas canister here that didn't explode. Yes, wooden, just like it was before. We've seen that operation before in the game, the previous game actually. Get some of that. Get some of that closer so I can grab it and toss it back at them. I gather it all around me, around the final goal where we need to make our stand. However, the issue is, if it blows up, it will blow up all over the place. Especially in my face. So it's not on yet, but we have this cage with supplies in, which are hard to use because they're flares. And if you pick up a flare, it immediately lights up. So, next episode will be spent on defending from the horde of zombie. While we... Oh snap. Oh, there's one more.
We're really happy with the Zombine's grenade behavior. It adds sudden danger spikes to the zombie horde, which force players to quickly reprioritize the target. And since the player can grab a grenade out of the Zombine's hand with a gravity gun, these danger spikes can be converted into offensive opportunities. This kind of turnaround skill shot creates some dynamic, satisfying hero moments for the player. Originally, we didn't allow the player to snatch Zombine grenades because we fairly broke the fiction of the gravity. If players could grab a Zombine grenade, why couldn't they grab the Combine soldiers' guns? After playtesting the grenade steal though, fun went out of the consistency.
Yep, the realism Gabe talks about. So that will be it for today. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and hopefully we will see each other. It's something I play for you for free. In the meantime, of course,
It's moving again.
interact with this video and every other video on my channel, preferably by watching and sharing it with your friends. Check out the RGB rave around the like and subscribe button. And if you don't like the content, it's entirely your fault.